You ever wonder if there's a blueprint for a life well lived? Like a real set of instructions for building something not out of wooden nails, but out of wisdom? Well, today, that's exactly what we're digging into. We're going to uncover the ancient, powerful architecture hidden in Proverbs chapter 17.
So that's our big question, right? What is the blueprint for a wise heart? We're about to go on a journey, verse by verse, to find out. We'll look at the foundations, the big warnings, and of course, the incredible rewards of living a life of wisdom.
Okay, first things first. Every great building has to have a solid foundation. So we're starting with verses 1 through 3. These lay out the huge choices that really shape who we are on the inside, and they show what we're made of when the pressure is on.
Verse 1 kicks us off with this really powerful image. On one side, picture a super simple meal, maybe just a piece of bread, but it's in a calm, quiet room, peaceful. Now on the other side, imagine a huge mansion, a massive feast, but the air is just thick with yelling and fighting. The point? Peace with almost nothing is way, way better than having everything but with constant conflict.
Then in verse 2, we see that competence beats entitlement. Every time. Think about it. A smart, reliable employee is handed the keys to the entire business, right over the owner's own reckless son. And then, verse 3 gives us this intense picture of a furnace. You know how fire is used to burn away all the junk and purify silver? Well, life's challenges do the exact same thing to our hearts. They reveal what's really in there.
All right, let's move on. This next section is kind of like walking through a gallery of cautionary tales. These verses are going to paint some super vivid pictures of what foolishness looks like and what happens when that foundation we just talked about is cracked.
Verse 4 shows us someone who just loves gossip. You can see them leaning in, their eyes lighting up when they hear a lie. That's the sign of a corrupt heart. Then verse 5 gets really serious. Picture someone laughing at a person in rags, totally unaware that they're not just insulting that person, they're insulting the Creator who's standing right there watching. But verse 6 gives us this beautiful, warm image. Just see it in your mind. A happy old man and his grandkids are all playing around him. They are his living, breathing legacy. It's like a vibrant crown made of life itself. It shows us that a loving family is the real prize.
Verse 7 is almost funny. It says that hearing profound wisdom from a fool is just weird. It's like trying to listen to a beautiful symphony played on a totally broken violin. It just doesn't fit. Then verse 8 paints a gift as a kind of magic key. It says a thoughtful present can literally swing open doors and make things go smoothly for the person who gives it.
Ooh, this one is huge. Verse 9 shows us the two paths of friendship. So imagine one friend sees another's mistake and gently throws a blanket over it, to protect them. But another person finds that same mistake and puts it up on a giant jumbotron for everyone to see. One action builds love, the other completely shatters a friendship.
Now, verse 10 uses this number to make a really sharp point about being teachable. A single critical word can totally change a wise person. But a fool? You could literally hit them 100 times and they still wouldn't get the message. The impact on the wise person is just so much greater.
Okay, get ready, because verse 12 is intense. Imagine you're walking in the woods and suddenly you're face to face with a mother bear whose cubs have just been taken. We're talking pure animal rage. This proverb says that terrifying, life-threatening moment is still a safer situation than dealing with a fool who's lost in their own destructive pride. Wow!
Verse 11 is pretty straightforward. A wicked person's default setting is just rebellion. They're always looking for a fight. But then verse 13 gives this chilling warning. If you repay a good deed with a malicious one, it's like you unleash this dark shadow that follows you home and just refuses to leave your family alone.
So now, let's shift gears and talk about something that affects all of us, our relationships. This next batch of verses is all about how wisdom builds connection, while foolishness just rips apart the fabric of our lives. For verse 14, picture a giant dam. Now imagine a tiny little crack in it, with just a trickle of water seeping out. That little trickle? That's the start of an argument. If you ignore it, that crack explodes, and suddenly there's a destructive, uncontrollable flood. The wisdom here is to patch the crack when it's still just a tiny trickle.
Verse 15 brings us into a courtroom. And in this courtroom, the judge says a guilty man is innocent and an innocent person is guilty. This total reversal of justice, calling evil good and good evil, is shown to be a complete violation of what is right in the world.
This verse asks such a deep question.
To get it, imagine a fool holding a winning lottery ticket worth millions, but they have no idea what it's worth, so they're just using it as a bookmark. That's the picture here. Someone has every opportunity to get wisdom, but they have zero desire for it. They're holding the price, but they don't want to make the purchase.
Verse 17 gives us the definition of true loyalty. A real friend is there celebrating with you on sunny days, but they're also the one holding an umbrella over you when the storm hits. Then verse 22 contrasts our inner world. A happy, cheerful heart literally acts like medicine for the body, but a broken spirit, it's like a disease that dries you up from the inside out.
So verse 19 is a warning against showing off. The modern version would be bragging about your flashy new car online only to have it get into a wreck the next day. Seeking all that attention just invites destruction. And then verse 21 shows us a parent's quiet heartbreak, that deep sadness of watching your own child make one foolish, self-destructive choice after another.
Now for our final section, and you can feel the whole tone shift. After all that chaos and noise of foolishness, we finally get to hear the sound of wisdom. And what's amazing is how quiet, calm, and focused it is.
Verse 23 shows us corruption in action, a shady bribe passed under a table to bend the rules. But verse 24 gives us the exact opposite. A wise person's eyes are locked on their goal right in front of them. The fool, on the other hand, their eyes are darting everywhere, distracted by things at the ends of the earth and totally unfocused.
Verse 25 circles back to the pain a foolish child causes, making it personal for both parents. It's a heavy grief for the father and a deep, painful bitterness for the mother. Then, verse 26 gives us this crystal clear principle. Punishing a good person is just plain wrong. It's a sign that the whole system is broken.
And we end with the surprising power of just being quiet. Verse 27 says that a truly knowledgeable person doesn't waste their words. They use them sparingly, like they're precious coins. And that leads to this incredible final point in verse 28. Even a known fool, if they just keep their mouth shut, can be seen as wise. In that silence, no one can see their foolishness, and people might even assume they're brilliant.
So, there you have it, the blueprint. We've seen the value of peace, the dangers of foolishness, and the power of a quiet, wise spirit. The architecture for a wise heart is laid out for us. So the only question left is, what are you going to do with it? Which one of these verses will you pick up and start building with today?